Abdul Balkhi, thank you so much for speaking to us. The Taliban has been clear that it wants a new chapter with the US. What is a new chapter?
The new chapter means that we close the old chapter of 20 years of warfare, of being adversaries, and looking forward to the future. The common goal of a stable and prosperous Afghanistan for the benefit of the people of Afghanistan. And we believe that having an Afghanistan that is integrated, that is prosperous, that is stable, is also in the interest of the United States of America.
It's clear the Taliban wants a reset with the US, despite this 20-year history of pretty brutal warfare. President Trump made a deal with the Taliban, which ultimately saw the end of America's longest war and indeed the withdrawal of US forces. The Taliban has been in power ever since, and now Mr. Trump is back in office. Now, he said that what he wants to see, at least initially, is the return of billions of dollars worth of US military equipment and hardware back to the US. In exchange, he will consider unfreezing foreign currency reserves that President Biden froze after the withdrawal. Is that a deal the Taliban is willing to take?
Currently, the best way to engage is through normal diplomatic means. Engage, talk, find common spaces that secures the interests of both countries and that addresses the common concerns.
But as you know, President Trump is unlike other presidents and wants to make a deal. And the one he's outlined is pretty clear. Give us back our military hardware worth billions of dollars, and we will unfreeze these assets which rightfully belong to Afghanistan. Will the Taliban take that deal?
With regards to the assets of the Central Bank of Afghanistan, just as the title says, they're the assets of the Central Bank of Afghanistan. They're not the assets of my government or any other administrations that have governed Afghanistan previously. These are the assets of the people of Afghanistan and the state of Afghanistan. They have been withheld wrongfully, illegitimately, and unlawfully, and they need to be released without any conditions.
Before the Taliban government could even consider President Trump's demand to return billions of dollars worth of hardware and military equipment, the position of your government is, first we must normalize diplomacy before we can even begin conversations like that.
We sit together with one another, we highlight areas, we talk about areas that are of our mutual concern and of our mutual interest, and that can only be done if we have normal relations. If you have abnormal relations, finding areas of common interest and common concerns is very difficult.
Afghanistan has huge natural resources, minerals, rare earth minerals, you name it. Other countries, like China, have been quick to seize on these opportunities. Is this an opportunity that you want to explore with the Trump administration?
Of course. I mean, Afghanistan, after nearly half a century of war, conflict, is now at a stage where we finally have peace, we finally have stability, we finally have security, we have the conditions in place for us to make use of our natural resources, both human and both natural, underground and above ground. And our policy is that we're open to everyone.
Is the Taliban prepared to engage in an agreement with the US, with this administration, which would see US companies come to Afghanistan and work alongside your government to explore these resources, which include some of the world's largest lithium mines, copper mines, and other rare minerals?
We believe that our interests are much more broader than just the natural resources. With regards specifically to the natural resources of Afghanistan, our doors are open to all. We seek to open a new chapter with everyone, including the United States of America. Our doors are open for business, for everyone, for all states that have interests in the natural resources or anything else.
So to be clear, Afghanistan is open for business?
Yes.
Do you see a future where you do have the kind of partnership with the Trump administration and the American government in general, while at the same time pursuing domestic policy which has seen the rights of women and girls eroded to the point where the UN says they've basically been erased from society.
Partnership or non-partnership are issues that come at a later stage. We first need to lay the foundation of dignified engagement and respectful engagement with one another, which is removing impediments and hurdles for that relationship.
And what are those impediments and hurdles in your mind?
Again, freezing of assets, interfering in the internal affairs of a sovereign state, sanctions list, rewards list.
Girls beyond the age of grade 6 have been barred from education. Women receiving medical training, whether it's in midwifery or as nurses, can no longer be educated. Is that Afghanistan advancing or going backwards?
These are the internal affairs of Afghanistan.
But the rights of women and girls aren't just human rights, they're universal rights. And by universal rights, I mean a right afforded to every single person on this planet. Why is your government, and in this country, why is it an exception?
It's an exception in every country. It's a sovereign prerogative of states on what laws and rules they...
But no other country forbids women and girls from going to school and getting educated, only this one.
Again, it's the sovereign prerogative of states on how they pursue these issues.
But when it comes to diplomatic ties, what does the Taliban want to see diplomatically with the US?
We have embassies open and operational in more than 40 countries. Hopefully that will increase as we move forward into 2025. We would like to reopen our embassy in Washington. We would like to reopen our consulate in New York. There's hundreds of thousands of Afghans and they have a right to consular services. We have no objections to for the United States to reopen their embassy.
We have seen cooperation between the US government and the Taliban, especially since the exchange of prisoners. When it comes to other security threats, including ISIS-K and others, is there direct security cooperation between the US and the Taliban government?
We do not need any support or assistance or information sharing when it comes to ISIS-K. ISIS-K does not have any roots in Afghanistan. That ideology has been rejected by the people of Afghanistan. We eliminated Daesh bases, territories, areas that were held by them, even when Afghanistan was occupied. They no longer have bases here.
Is there security cooperation on any level with the US?
Security is a common interest. We want to see Afghanistan that does not pose a threat to anyone. And that is an interest of the United States of America as well. We continue to engage on not only security, but on humanitarian assistance, on a range of other issues throughout these years to make sure that the commitments that both sides have made are met.
So there is direct dialogue when it comes to shared security threats.
Security is a broad field. Afghanistan has made commitments and has a foreign policy of not posing a threat to anyone. And it pursues diplomatic engagement, and through that engagement to give assurances to any state that has any concerns about the security situation.
Is it entirely out of the question that the Taliban would ever return this military hardware, which includes helicopters, Humvees, and the likes, which were left behind when the US left Afghanistan?
States don't give away their assets.
But are they the assets of the state of Afghanistan, or do they not actually belong to the US?
No, these are the assets of the state of Afghanistan.
So as soon as the Americans left behind, they belong to you?
Afghanistan has always had a military. It's always had military hardware, and it will continue to have a military and will continue to maintain military hardware.
But $7 billion worth of that military hardware is from the US and was left by the US when they withdraw in 2021.
Those assets are the assets of the state of Afghanistan. And states don't give away their assets to other states, particularly when it comes to security issues.
So even with President Trump suggesting that he would consider releasing foreign currency that has been frozen by the Biden administration in exchange for that hardware, you wouldn't consider that deal?
The central bank assets are the assets of the state of Afghanistan. Our military and the hardware that we possess is the asset of the state of Afghanistan. The money held is being held unlawfully, and it should never be conditioned on anything.
It seems like there's no deal then with the president.
People don't make deals on the assets of their states. They make agreements through long conversations and dialogue and engagement.
And you want that dialogue with the Trump administration?
We had it with the Trump administration previously, and we would like to have that dialogue continue in the future.
A dialogue which you hope will ultimately lead to a formal recognition of the Taliban government.
A dialogue that will secure the mutual interests of both of our countries.
And that dialogue will include everything from business engagements to human rights.
That dialogue is very broad. It will include everything. We might agree on some things and we might disagree on others.
So nothing's off the table?
Nothing is off the table.
All right, Mr. Balkhi, thank you very much. I appreciate it.